Can you guys believe October is already gone? That's right, the skeletons are going away, the goblins have been put asunder, and it is time to be thankful. And one of the things I am thankful for is Video Games Monthly. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Square Pegs. I'm Jay. It is time to once again do my unboxing from my friends at Video Games Monthly. All I've got to do is free it from its priority mail prison. We'll pop it open, we'll find out what's in the box. And what is Video Games Monthly? Video Games Monthly is a monthly subscription service where you can get 3, 4, 5, 10, or 20 games sent directly to your front door. This is not a rental service. You get to keep the games. So when you get the games you receive, you update the website based on what your inventory is, the games you have in your collection, and then they won't send you a duplicate. Now, it does happen. Sometimes you will forget to update, and those are the ones you have to eat. That's on you. That's your fault. But if they do send you one that you already do own, you just reach out to customer service, you let them know, and they'll send you out a new game, lickety-split, and they'll take care of you. And here it is, a new box from my friends at VGM. Very excited to have this. Now, I get games for the NES, the Famicom, the Super Nintendo, the Dreamcast, the Genesis, the Master System, the Game Gear, the N64, the Wii U. That might be it. I might have actually nailed it this time. I might have actually gotten everything. Now, how I do this video is I look right down this lens, I pop the box open, I don't look inside ahead of time, and I hold it up to the camera, and we find out together exactly what the game is. Now, I say together, but my eyesight is terrible, so chances are you're going to see it before I do because I have like a 2x1 screen down here on my Osmo, and I can't usually read what it is. So I'll make a guess, I'll make an attempt, but you'll find out before me. So first and foremost, we have a suggestive door hanger, which as a family-friendly channel, I will not show off, but it is, let's just say that it implies that you are playing games in your room. Yeah, there you go. We also have a social card. The social card tells you to update your game list. Like I mentioned, you let them know what you got in this box. They won't send you duplicates. It also lets you know that if you share your experience with VGM on social media, you'll be entered in for a chance to win a free 3-up box sent directly to your front door. 3 free games just for sharing your experience. It's pretty awesome. We're just gonna go for it. We're gonna do NES first. All right, 3, 2, 1. Championship bowling. Oh, we are off to a start. Let's do some bowling, folks. We have Championship Bowling, which I thought was going to be terrible. Like flat out thought I was going to hate every second of it. And not going to lie to you, once I kind of got the hang of the mechanics of the game, which, I mean, it's an NES game, bear with me. I'm old. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get up to speed on things. Once I got the hang of the mechanics, the game's pretty good. It's a really solid bowling game. The gameplay is pretty true to life. Like there's actually, you can put like English on the ball and stuff like that as you spin it. And you have to really line your shots up and think about how you're going to approach the shot. Now, there are clearly some limitations here. Like there's no physics to speak of with the pins at all. So if you hit a pin and you are trying to knock down some pins behind it, you have as much chance of it going through those pins and not doing anything despite being sideways to knock them out as it would be to just miss them entirely. So it's something where you're just going to have to accept that there are some inherent limitations based on the age of the title, but from a gameplay perspective, it's actually pretty solid, which is a wonderful thing to say because most bowling games are pretty terrible. This one breaks the mold, though. All right, Championship Bowling. I can't imagine I had a lot of fun with that.
I mean, I'm so genuinely heartbroken by it. I can't even begin to ridicule you.
Not a huge bowling fan, so yeah, I'm assuming, I guess. All right, next up, 3, 2, 1. Well, let's play a game. Sometimes what happens with VGM is I will get games from the same letter. So let's see if this next NES game is from the letter C. 3, 2, 1. Orb 3D. Never heard of it. All right, so Orb 3D on the NES. Now, this is one I'd never heard of, never seen it before, never was curious about it. If it's a game that shipped with 3D glasses on the NES, chances are I was not interested because it was not a gimmick that I cared about then. Spoiler alert, not a gimmick I really care about now. And the gameplay just kills this game. Like, I kind of get what they were going for, and doing a little bit of research, I found out that this is originally a game on the Commodore 64, which I can totally see this being a Commodore game. But on the NES, it just sucks. It's not fun. It's sort of Pong, because you are bouncing the ball back and forth with paddles, but it's also moving up and down, so it's like moving back of the screen to the front of the screen in a three-dimensional environment. And from what I can kind of parse based on the gameplay is you have to actually control the ball a little bit to knock it into these different circles and things that are on the screen to take them out. Eventually you can go to a refueling station. I don't know how to refuel the ball. I didn't figure that out. There's boss fights with a giant purple cat where you have to hit it in the eye. I don't really understand how that works. It's not a game for me. I'm sure that there's folks out there that really enjoy this one, but I'm failing to see how. Super Nintendo next. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Can't tell. Dig and Spike Volleyball from Hudson Soft. Okay, that could be the saving grace. It's from Hudson. That could be good. Fingers crossed it is. All right, let's take a look now at Dig and Spike Volleyball. Dig and Spike Volleyball, something that I'd never heard of, game I didn't know existed. And I am okay with volleyball games. Like, there's some that I really like, but there's a constant in most volleyball games that I have a very difficult time determining where I need to be to block a shot. And that carries forth with this one, because once I went through the tutorial and I played everything, the serving was easy to understand, the actual volleying was easy to understand, setting up a shot was easy to understand. But as soon as you get to blocking, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to make sure that I'm going to get the block or line myself up correctly, because it is, at the end of the day, just a two-dimensional image that's kind of on an isometric view where you kind of have to guess where the ball is going to go, and that doesn't necessarily work all that well. That said, I was able to pull a few off in-game just by pure happenstance. It wasn't by any form of skill whatsoever. And the gameplay is pretty fun. Not going to lie. Like, I can see myself playing this some more and probably having a good time with it, because it seems like it's something that I could just toss in for like 5 or 10 minutes, play a couple rounds, and enjoy myself with. And sometimes that's what you need from a game. And that is a perfect way for sports games to exist in a world where, 100 to 200 hour JRPGs exist. Something you can just hop in, play for 5 minutes, and get out is a welcome experience. SNES game. I don't get a lot of SNES stuff sent to me, so excited to at least see it and see how it is. I love Super Spike V-Ball and stuff like that on the NES, so maybe this is kind of akin to that, and it's really fun. All right, let's take a look now at the Game Gear game. I love getting Game Gear stuff. Unless it is one of the Poker Face Paul games, I probably just cursed myself. 3, 2, 1. Home Alone. All right, let's take a look at Home Alone on the Game Gear. Really expected to not enjoy this one. This is Home Alone on the Game Gear because, look, as much as I love licensed titles, I've heard horror stories about the Home Alone games. I've never actually played any of them myself that I can remember. I might have in the past, or I might have on a previous video, but I put the memory out of my head. Regardless, I know I've never played the Game Gear version here, and this is my first time playing it. And despite the performance you're seeing in this video capture, I kept playing after I recorded the footage for this video. And once I kind of figured out what I needed to do and figured out kind of how I needed to play the game, it became a significantly more interesting title and something that was far more strategic than I had expected, because you have to set traps in each house to stop the wet bandits, and you're basically on a timer. There's 5 or 6 houses on your block that they're trying to rob, and you need to inflict more pain than they can handle before they can loot the house. So there's kind of like dueling timelines going on here. So you need to make sure you're using your traps and your BB gun to injure them as much as possible while still maintaining and managing your kind of resources to make sure you can defend the other houses on the block. It's a really interesting game. And dare I say it, it's pretty fun. It's pretty well done. I'm really interested in playing the Genesis version. This is a port of the Genesis version, and it's a very much kind of stripped down, bare bones version of it, but I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm actually going to look for the Genesis version of a Home Alone game because I want to try it out. I don't know if I'm getting trolled or not on this box, but it feels a little bit like I've wronged Joe in some way, shape, or form. N64 now. The box is empty. We're going to take a look now at the N64. 3, 2, 1. Knife Edge Nose Gunner. I can safely say for the first time in my experience with VGM, I got a box full of games I have never played, and in some cases have never heard of. So let's take a look at Knife Edge Nose Gunner, not Knife Nose Edge Gunner. That's very different. Let's take a look at Knife Edge Nose Gunner now on the N64. Knife Edge Nose Gunner has quite possibly one of the goofiest names I've ever heard in a video game. And seeing it, I was like, okay, this is going to be schlock. It's going to be terrible. And it's not great. It's not a spectacular game. It's very stripped down, very bare bones. The targeting sucks. The aiming is awful. It does not play well on an N64 controller, whether you're using a third-party modern one or a classic Trident. It's not a terribly pleasant experience to aim. But I think there's something kind of genius in the core concept here, because I really like kind of the base layer design of the game. Like, I like the idea of an on-rails shooter that is set as a flight sim in a way, because that's kind of what it feels like. I would love something like this in the Star Wars universe. I think that would be absolutely fascinating. I think it would be super fun. And I think if things were just slowed down a little bit, like the thing that really set me off on this game that just took me out of the experience overall was how damn touchy the controls were and the aiming was. If it was just slowed down a little bit and the sensitivity on the joystick was dropped down by like 25%, this game would have been spectacular. It would have been an absolutely magnificent experience from top to bottom to play, but because that control is so flighty and so fast and is just all over the place when you're trying to lock in on an enemy that's on screen to take him out, it becomes difficult to play. I think it's kind of silly that they put in this thing where they say you have boosts where you can kind of move yourself by using the C buttons. I don't really do a goddamn thing. You don't really move when you press them. You just kind of like bump a little bit to the left, a bump a little bit to the right. It doesn't do enough to actually dodge anything. So just be aware of that if you do decide to play this one, because I do think you should try it. I do think there's something here that's pretty solid, and I think even if that is just the idea of the game, the concept of the design, I think there's something here. It's my big ticket item, this box, which is kind of fascinating when it's a game I've never heard of, but I wish it just played a little bit better. All right, we're going to total this box of joy up, and we're going to find out exactly if I came out ahead, behind, or if I was way off the mark on what I paid for.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, I'm back. The total is in, and it comes out to $49.75, which is a pretty good value, all things considered. The big hitters on this one as far as value goes were Knife Edge Nose Gunner and Home Alone on the Game Gear, and I hope I enjoyed the gameplay on some of these, at least. I hope there was some fun factor here. As it stands, looking at this, in hindsight might be different. Like I said, you guys have seen the reviews already. I might have found something that I absolutely adore, but hindsight being what it is, I think these are fantastic candidates for trade value. Those will be going to a local shop, and I'll use it towards something I actually want. Let me know in the comments below what the best game was I got this month, which game looks the most intriguing to you. If you enjoyed this video, there's a playlist on screen now where I take a look at everything I get from VGM. This happens monthly, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you stick around. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me today as I unbox the latest from VGM. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.